Hello, this is TeacherBot. Let's get to it. M2T2. Let's see, even though I just used another code space, I'm going to delete and make a new one for this new video so you can see all the steps. Hopefully this will go pretty quick. That's a good sign. I'm going to close my little side window. We won't be using Copilot for a while. Fantastic, so now we're in. Okay, the assignment says that we're going to make a simple receipt from a restaurant. Well, we can certainly do that. Let's make a new file. In a minute, I guess. But my code space is, there we go. Okay. New file. I did not click that fast enough. So, oh, not a new folder. New file. M2T2. You don't have to put the 090X. I'm going to do that so I can always remember which videos I made for this video, for this section. CSC 134, M2T2. You'll put your own name and the date, of course. I try to type these fairly fast so you're not just sitting here watching me type, and I figure you can always pause when needed. I do indeed, thank you. So because I'm working on a C++ file, at some point it's going to ask me to install the C++ plugin, which will then let me actually be able to run the program, which is, of course, quite useful. I'm going to close my other window since I only have so many spaces available. While that loads, I'll keep working. Okay, we're going to use the 2 decimal places trick I briefly mentioned in the previous video. Continuing to install my plugins. I think my internet's a little bit slow today. I am also uploading the previous video. That probably doesn't help. Okay. And main. Okay. Okay. And we'll say that's 8%. You could always look up what that is. So we're going to declare our variables. Greet user and take the order. The meal price, sales tax, and the total price, because we had to add sales tax. And print the receipt. Great. Okay. So once again, you're welcome to make your restaurant whenever you want. I'm going to go to Emojipedia and let's do pizza today. Do we have a good pizza emoji? We do indeed. Copy that. So I will put that in our item. So string item equals, paste that, pizza. You don't have to have an emoji. I'm just showing that you can do that. You can put any type of Unicode, so Japanese, Russian, any language you want will be handled in a quote like that. So we can also use emojis. Okay, item price, let's say it's $5.99 for the pizza combo. Make that math really clear. And another quote here. I'm just going to tab these over so it's easier to see. Tax in dollars, double total. Price plus tax, right? That sounds good. Great. Okay. For restaurant. Okay. And we'll say here, if I get into how many pizzas I want, let's get a little more complicated. So, you know what, let's actually take that out. Okay. So we're just going to run through, let's not even do input. We'll, now you can imagine you could say, would you like fries? Did you want to shake with that? There's a lot of things we could add, but I'm going to keep this version pretty simple because we're going to focus on this whole sales tax thing. So let's just do it with this. I say, so you ordered one item. Cool. All right. And then, like I said, again, if we wanted to order 3 pizzas, then you'd multiply by 3, but I'm going to keep this like it is so we can track. Because the importance here, if you just set a variable called tax, you're going to be lost. It'd be like setting your GPS to the wrong location, right? It's going to take you there, but it's not going to be what you want. Because you want to know the tax amount. You know, for $5, 8% is what, 40 cents? You know, it's for $100, it's, you know, $8, things like that. So you got to figure out those amounts. So we're going to say our tax amount equals item price times tax percent. We take 8% of the item, and then we say total equals item price plus tax amount. Okay. All right. So we convert. You know, if you for $5.99, we convert the 8% to 8% of $5.99, which is like 60 cents, and it's less than $1, right? It's 48 cents. Great. Good. Okay. Add that in. This is done. So let's organize this. Okay. Look back at our program to make sure this all makes sense. Manip, we have pizza, the price, the tax, and then the total. Again, it'd be very easy to have another value for the total, you know, pre-tax price, but I'm just going to say they buy 1 pizza. So tax amount is $5.99 times 8%, and then we take the total is $5.99 plus whatever that tax is. Great. So now we print out set precision and fixed. I see, I always forget what those are called. Cool. I'm going to do a little test here and just say cout total and see what that price is. We're not done yet. I want it to look nice, but let's see if we got a value. Okay, I hit run. Again, if you hit run and it gives you 2 options, pick the top one. Either one will work. Sometimes it'll give you this button here, which is the same thing as that Dorito. And what do I see? Program finished normally, and over here it says you ordered 1 pizza. I did not set this right, so let's fix that. I forgot the 2. Also, I severely doubt that that makes sense. Let's see what it says. More like it. Okay, so my set precision did something very strange. So by setting it to 2, it does this. Let's check our code in so far. So I will say M2T2 halfway done. It's going to give me the pop-up, and you say yes on that. Or you can say always. I hit sync changes. It might give you a yes there. Click yes there. Now it's committed. And now if I go back and look at my repo, you know, I won't do this every video, but I just want it to be really clear that, oh, because it's uppercase, I need to change the name. Okay, that worked. So let me go here, and it'll be a little easier to read if I say rename M2T2 906. I'll delete this file here. Just yeah, great. Okay. Since I changed the name, I have to check it in again. So let me do that. I would say change M2T2 to lowercase. That's not really super important, but I like to say why I did something so I can remember what happened. Now I go back here. That looks a lot better. It's down at the bottom with the others I would expect to see. That's not a great sign. I got the angry unicorn. Well, let's keep working for now. So our receipt should look a certain way. So we're going to say here something like cout. And I'll probably do like something like this. I would say item. That's what I called it, right? Item, yep. I'll say, no, I'll just put this up at item. I'll put a tab here. \T is a tab. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Actually, I'll put two of them. I think it'll look a little bit better. Okay, and then that was item price. Put another line here to make it look nice. This is not necessary, but I'm trying to really capture the look of a receipt. I mean, every receipt has a certain look to it. They all are similar. And then the total here will be total. Okay. Now that sounds strange. Let's see if it looks the way I think it will. So I think the tabs will line things up on the side, which is what I want. Let's see if it works. No, that is not at all good. So let's try taking one of those tabs out. And run that. Whoops, didn't put an end of line. Let's see how it looks now. Uh-oh, what have I got? I have an error in my code. Okay. Let's try that. Now, if you don't get a fancy looking receipt like this, if you just print out the item, the price, the tax. Okay, so I think another tab to make it line up will look good. Thank you for shopping with us. Here's the pizza, $5.99 tax, total $6.47. And I think one more indel at the end would be good. So if I were to go online and look for a picture of a receipt, it's not exact, but it's pretty close because I read down the items here and I read down the prices here and they all line up nicely. Now, how did I do that? It was a combination of using the set precision, using the tabs, but most importantly, for something like this, don't try to memorize it. You could absolutely go to Gemini or somebody and say, hey, how would I make a receipt look nice? Now, don't use the code they give you, but if they say things like add tabs and things like that, you're good. So here's the program one more time. Simple receipt. We have our variables. We could have asked them if they wanted fries. You know, we'll probably do a later version where you can, supersize your order, all that great stuff. But for now, we just figure out the tax price because this is a two-step process. You know, find the amount of the tax and then add that in because you have to show it separately because the user is going to want to understand, well, oh, it comes to this price because this is this much tax. It just makes things easier to be able to see the receipt. Okay, that's the whole program. Let's get it checked in. So finished M2T2, commit that, sync changes. And when I go back to my GitHub, in my repository, I should see it here and it says changed it now. So when I click this file, here's my program. And that's ready to turn in by taking this link and submitting it to Canvas. All right, thanks so much. I appreciate it.